What's going on, guys? Chuck here, and today I want to talk a little bit more about another television collector set. Not probably the only, real fancy, collector set that I have as television related. I know I've shown you like all my sitcoms. There are some box sets, I had there, and I have a couple of box set collections, whatever, but nothing really fancy. This is the one really fancy television box that I have, and it is Battlestar Galactica, the complete series DVD set. And this is like the very first release on DVD, I believe, of the entire series. At least this is like the limited edition set. And I remember when this came out, it was like really cool. I wasn't able to get it. I believe, if memory serves, and this has been a while, that it was Cheryl who found it at a half price books or something like that, somewhere along those lines. And I can't remember if I was with her or not. Honestly, I think it's been so long, but I know she was instrumental in getting it and picking it for me at least. So this is really cool. I wrote. Part of me says that she saw it. She gave me a call and asked me if I had it. And I was like, no, but I'd love to have it. I guess, getting half price books is a pretty good price. So she got it. It was, at the time, sealed, too, so that was even cooler. I just think this is such a neat thing, and this Cylon head and this set. And that's a pretty good, hefty set. Universal got the logo on the side there. And Battlestar Galactica is a show, the original, a show I loved as a kid. It only lasted one season, but I absolutely love this. Famously, I guess they were trying to be sued by Star Wars, being too much like it, but I don't really see too many similarities. I mean, I guess a few, but not enough that I think it's ripping off Star Wars entirely. I've seen a lot worse. But also the fact, one of the reasons I got canceled wasn't so much low ratings. It was the fact that it was very expensive, like $1 million an episode, I believe, or something like that, for the budget effect. Which is funny when you watch it because there's so much reused footage. So, they're trying to cut corners here and there, but it's a shame, and it kind of ended on a cliffhanger, kind of, sort of. And it's too bad. Of course, it was revived later in the 2000s on a Sci-Fi Channel, and that version was really popular. I never got into that show. I watched like the miniseries, early miniseries, the first two part or whatever it was, before it became a full-fledged series, and I could not get into it. I know everyone loved it, but it just, maybe it was the old fogey in me, even then. But it wasn't my Battlestar. I just could not grasp it. I just love this old-fashioned Battlestar Galactica. As a kid of the late 70s, 80s, this was, is, and forever will be my Battlestar Galactica. So, let's pop this open, take a look. What's in here? Slowly. There we go. Whoa. We're good. And I actually kept the back. This was what was on the back here. All your specs. It's a complete epic series. And you got over 3 hours of deleted alternate scenes, a new interview with Glenn Larson, 45-minute documentary on the making of Battlestar Galactica. I don't know if I've watched some of this stuff on here. I know I watched the series. I don't know if I got to the special features or not. A feature on Swingin' series, feature on the creation of the Cylons. I did listen to the audio commentary, I remember, on the pilot. I do remember that. With Richard Hatch, Dirk Benedict, and Herbert Jefferson Jr. Apollo, Starbuck, and Boomer, respectively. And their before-seen photos and drawings. And this was digitally remastered picture in 5.1 Dolby Surround. An episode guide. So yeah, this is there's all the stuff there. This is a pretty in-depth set. Now, here's the book. It has the episode guide. Take a look right here. And let's see, we got the original cast listed on the back. And there's drop the book. There's the little opening monologue from who was that? I cannot remember the actor's name right now, but who would recite that. So there are those who believe that there may yet be brothers of man who who even now fight to survive somewhere beyond the heavens. And that's basically your episode guide for disc 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. With all the episodes, special features. And then you have the episode guide breaking down each individual episode with some great photos and pictures. Great photos and pictures, the same thing. And then you just have some pictures at the end. And then there. Now, rewatching the series, I remember thinking I just really enjoyed it. I thought it still held up very well. Again, it's been a while since I checked this out, but when I got it and I binge watch it, I really enjoyed it. Everything was good. The effects, I thought, still, even for then, I think 1979, 78, I think it still looked pretty good for the time. But it's still a very fun series. You've got great likable characters. So here's the set. Inside the foam, you have the actual, as was typical, the big fold out with the discs, and double sided, I believe. If memory serves, they're double sided, so there's no artwork on here. And that's a lot of discs. I didn't realize that. And that's the gist of it. That's basically, now this one, let me get this back in here. My goodness. Hold on. The foam is not cooperating. A little tricky. Okay. There we go. Back in the foam. Now, of course, this includes the original 3-part pilot along with the series. However, overseas, that pilot was condensed into a 2-hour theatrical film. And I do have this right here, which is, it's interesting because there's so many differences here from the pilot. The main thing, I think, being that Baltar is killed in the theatrical version, where he survives in the miniseries, obviously, to go on and be an antagonist. Which I remember being really weird, because I never knew that this was a theatrical film until years later. And I saw obviously the TV series, and I had like the big Marvel adaptation of the Battlestar Galactica, not realizing it was an adaptation of the movie. So in the comic, they killed Baltar. I said, he didn't die. That's so strange. But come to find out, he did in this version. So, and there's a couple other things were cut in for time and spliced down to make it a 2-hour film. And again, this was shot widescreen, where the TV show is not. So there's some subtle differences, but it's an interesting compare and contrast between the two. As I said before, I'm a completist with these series to a point and to a fault. And that fault being that I happened to pick up Galactica 1980, the complete series, which is like 10 episodes. The abysmal follow-up to Battlestar Galactica. I'm sure there's like some legal reasonings or whatever why show was canceled and it's brought back as a whole different show, more or less. Well, budgetary, they retooled it so it could be more modern day. Put it in the future. They're on Earth, so they could have so many space adventures. They could just be on Earth, which the premise has promise, but it really falls apart throughout its brief 10-episode. I say brief, but these episodes are very hard to get through. Minus the last one, which featured Dirk Benedict as Starbuck, and a nice. You get an idea what happened to Starbuck, I guess, at the end. But and some of the characters aren't great. You have Lauren Green still as Adama, which is nice, but it swings and misses completely. Honestly, it's not a great series, but it was cheap. It's a follow-up. It's a continuation. I'm a completist. There you have it. So, but that's it. I just want to break down and show you my one real cool limited fancy collector set from TV shows, and this Battlestar Galactica one, which is really great. I know this has been released on Blu-ray. I think actually maybe I don't think it was a 4K, but if it's a fancy Blu-ray, probably I think they've spruced up the effects or whatever. I haven't taught myself into getting it because I like the way it is. I like sometimes my 70s sci-fi to just look like 70s sci-fi. It doesn't have to be too spruced up. And I think there's a nice charm and how Battlestar Galactica looks and is remembered. And part of me wants to just keep it that way. But anyway, that's it for now. If you enjoyed it, click thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave me a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on Battlestar Galactica. Which was your favorite? Did you even remember the 78 Battlestar Galactica? Or are you just strictly a 2000s Battlestar Galactica? Do you know what the hell Battlestar Galactica is? Or just say hi. I'll always say hi. Until next time, this is Chuck saying I will see you on the other side.